y'all, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here today. So today I want to pull a little bit that I've learned in the last week or so from my Twitter. So today I want to discuss black women and like perpetual single motherhood. On my Twitter, I wrote a tweet. In the tweet, I said, essentially told black women to get out of the ghetto. First off, I would like to give context to what I was talking about, and if I can find it again, I'll insert the article in the description box, and I'll also insert a picture of the article in the video. But essentially what happened was Chicago PD some years ago, and probably up until recently because there were several cases, ended up having to pay out a black mom, well technically for the daughter, $2.5 million for basically Chicago PD raided mom's home. I think a bunch of people live there. The mom, the daughter, she probably had other kids as well, and her mom, so the grandma, and I believe it was the grandma's either nephew or grandson or something, but it was another relative that lived in the house too who did some sort of illegal activity. And so, but they essentially had him in the car already, and they decided to raid the house and essentially held everybody gunpoint, held guns to the mom's head, held gun to the grandma's head, and held a gun to the 3-year-old toddler girl, held her at gunpoint, holding a gun at her chest. So my tweet was in response to that, and essentially I said that black women need to get out of the ghetto. Now, I don't know why it's so difficult for black people to understand nuance. I don't know why it's so difficult for black people to get out of their emotions long enough to potentially get a deeper message than what's on the surface. Like, black people can be so surface level and so emotional and impractical and illogical to use common sense when reading certain things. So essentially I said that black women need to get out of the ghetto by any means necessary, okay? And the first and easiest way for black women to get out of the ghetto is to not allow yourself to be riddled with children, to have babies and poverty. And so I said that you as a woman push out the criminals. You as a woman push out the people that continues to be in the cycle of poverty in the ghetto, in the hoods, whatever. So of course majority of people on that engages with me understands, but of course as you get more likes, as you get more attraction, the algorithm starts to, you know, draw in other people, and other people retweeting and liking, you end up seeing other people end up seeing who's not in the movement, who's not, you know, following you or what have you. So essentially, you know, it was only a few, maybe 3 or 4 people who didn't agree, but essentially this person said, and I'll insert the tweets, "It's your vagina that pushes out criminals? Sounds like hate speech. Black women push out criminals. Y'all are either hired to engage in psychological warfare or seriously need therapy." And so me being a sarcastic dickhead, I was just like, you know, so men have babies now? And it's like black people can't seem to do the math. They can't seem to be able to put two and two together, because what happens is when you start to put 2 and 2 together, you end up coming to terms with your own faults and your own mistakes. And a lot of people want to talk about things without it getting personal. I talk about things that I know. I talk about things that I understand, things that I'm comfortable with. I never, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, I never, or in life, Okay? I never talk about things that I don't know to be true. Okay? I don't. You won't find me making femininity videos, making a series of videos around being married. I've never been married. Okay? You won't find me making videos about motherhood. I've never been a mother. So I talk about the things that I know. I'm an expert on doing things my way. I'm an expert on making decisions that benefit you. I'm an expert on telling the truth even if it's unpopular. I am experienced on making logical and rational decisions. I'm an expert on not having babies out of wedlock. I'm over the age of 30. Yes, I'm still young, but I am over the age of 30. And I started my YouTube channel and my platforms after I was 30. Okay? I wasn't a baby trying to teach people what to do. And of course, there's always women older than me, like Crystal and Karazin, like Kendall St. Charles. I've been listening to her lately as well. And these women are so much more wiser than me. They know so much more than I do. They speak on things that I can't speak on. But I speak on the things that I know to be true, and even things that I've experienced or avoided. My parents instilled in me that you don't have to learn things the hard way, and they made that clear. You know, my parents aren't fond of apologizing unless they really did something wrong or felt they did something wrong, which is, you know, can be problematic too. But in that regard, I'm that way. When I choose to say things, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna apologize for them. I'm not gonna take anything back, because what I say what I mean, and I mean what I say, and I'm careful and I'm deliberate about things that I say, because they are filtered and over filtered before I present them to anyone, and they're well thought out. So I said that to say, you know, I can't help you if you can't put 2 and 2 together. If you are coming from a place of being over emotional, and you know, emotions are okay, of course, we have them for a purpose, but when it comes to making decisions on bettering your life, you need to separate your feelings from it, okay? And Black people really have an issue with understanding quality is more important than quantity, okay? So essentially, the person ended up saying that I was basically practicing eugenics and promoting eugenics, promoting white supremacist talking points, and promoting Hitler-like tactics of population control, or what did he say? Hitler tactics of genocide against Black people. I have never been known to be a patient person. My patience is very thin with people who draw obscene conclusions from God knows where. Like, I don't even get it. And sometimes I really wish I was comfortable cursing. I just feel silly doing it, because I think I would be able to express myself in depth and feel, you know, better. But me telling Black women to not allow yourself to get pregnant, and while you're in the hood, while you're poor and young and in poverty, okay? Me telling Black women to be careful who they procreate with is Hitler tactical genocide. Really? I can't work under these conditions. I can't work under these conditions. Okay, so I'm gonna say this as nicely as I can. I'm gonna say this as nicely as I can. Nobody enjoys being a single mother. Nobody. And that is a harsh truth that nobody wants to admit, okay? Many of my friends have children. Some of my friends are single mothers. I just finished having a discussion with my best friend who has 3 children and who's not married. Like, we just finished discussing this. It is hard. It is hard. And the older your children get, and people these men just get away scot-free. Now, my best friend has managed to create a decent life for her children. You know, we're from rural North Carolina, so they're not in the ghetto, so to speak. So she's managed to create a decent life for her children under the circumstances. But she will honestly admit that it is hard. It is stressful. And you wonder why Black women are deemed angry, why they yell and will hit you with an extension cord or a flip-flop or a fly swatter or whatever they can get their hands on. Black women, Black single mothers are frustrated. Nobody enjoys. I don't need to have children to understand that single motherhood is for the birds. I understand that people die. I understand that other circumstances happen. But the mass majority of Black people and Black moms and left to raise children alone is simply because the men failed to do their job. They put on their Nikes and they ran away. It's not because of some tragic love story where their dad died off in the military fighting for the country, or they died in a car accident or something and they left that way. Most of them, the nigga live up the street, excuse my language, but the nigga live up the street and he just don't want to be a father. And at some point, Black women, we have to understand that we cannot control what men do, but you can doggone well control who you let enter into your vagina. And I'll say it again. Yes, people get RAPED. But we are not talking about those people, and those people are not the majority. The majority of us get caught up in the way somebody look, get caught up in the way somebody make us feel, and a child pays the price with a less than ideal life. Nobody enjoys being a single mother. So what is there for Black women to do? Do what you can. Do what is in your power to do, which is close those legs. No, that is not eugenics. No, that is not going to be the demise of the Black family or Black people, of the Black race. There are billions of Black people on this planet, okay? There are enough Black people on this planet to get by. There will always be Black people. And I had another girl also agree. She said, I agree, but basically saying, I don't like the way that sounds. Like, you can't tell people what to do with their body. Like, I can't do the math for you. I'm not in your class. I can't. We're not Tia and Tamara. I can't sit in your class and take your quiz for you. I can't do the math for you. Quality is more important than quantity. We don't need to continue pumping out a bunch of garbage children that's gonna turn into garbage adults. And I don't mean garbage children as in the children have no say-so, but children born into poverty are the ones that turn into terrible adults because you didn't give them the tools they needed to be successful. Yes, many of them get out of the hood, but most of them do not, which is why the cycle continues. And you know, people say, well, majority of Black people aren't in the hood, blah, 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 blah. But what is our representation when you think of Black people in America? And we do play a part in that. And that is what I try to, disclose and try to get Black women to understand, is that you can't control what a man does, but you can control if you bring a man's child into the world. Because men will intentionally try to impregnate you to riddle you with babies and lower your value on the dating market. If you guys think men are stupid, they are not. If you think maybe, I will give black men the benefit of the doubt and say they are not writing this down. They're not intentionally saying, I'm gonna get her pregnant so that nobody else will want her. But the psyche behind it, the psychological, manifestations behind it still equals the same thing. At the end of the day, men want to stake their claim into you. They want to be able to call you my baby mama. And black women are guilty of it too, but I'm not here to be balanced and fair for black men. I'm here to, help push black women forward. You don't think a man has tried to get me pregnant before or wanted to get me pregnant before? Because they have. But it's up to me to allow myself to get pregnant. There are so many methods of birth control. There are so many IUDs, NuvaRings, the pill. And if all else fails, if your plan B fails, if all else fails, you can get an abortion. Okay? There is always a way to not continue the cycle for yourself, because as an individual, you are responsible for your happiness. You can pull, it is common sense, and this is why it annoys me so much that people pretend like they don't get it, because at the end of the day, it's common sense. If you are a single woman in the ghetto and you live with your mom, you can save your money. You can find a man to help you get out. You have many options when you are single and childless. When you're young, you don't have, any burdens. You don't have all of this. Even if you're uneducated, going to college is a way for a lot of us to get out of our circumstances that we were born into. But college costs money. So if you didn't happen to have good enough grades to get scholarships and things, you can't, you don't qualify for student loans. There is always a way as a woman, if you know what I mean. There's always a way for you to use your vagina to pull yourself up. And that is what I was saying in my tweets. And I will stand by it, period. Because sometimes you do have to tap into your darkness to get to the place that you want to be. And when you have children, when you have even one child, it's so much. It's like walking up 3 flights of stairs with a backpack on, 2 cases of water, and ankle weights. It is a weight. Yes, children are a blessing, but children can also be a burden if you have them before you aren't ready. There is no pretty way to say it. And if you are in the hood, if you are in unideal situations, not having children is beneficial to helping you be able to lift yourself out of it, period. When you have kids, especially when you have kids with a man who don't help, it is hard for you. It's going to be so much more difficult for you to pull yourself out of your situation when you only have one person to feed. And I pride myself on using common sense, not being so smart that I'm dumb and that people can't keep up. At the very baseline, you as a single person can live in your car to pull yourself up. If you can't afford an apartment, I'm not advocating for living in your car or anything, because that in itself is dangerous. But on the bare bones minimum, you can spend a month sleeping in your car, saving money while you work, that is not something you can do with a child. And that is a baseline. I'm not promoting it. I'm not telling anybody to go live in your car if there's other ways that you can do it. But at the bare minimum, there's somebody out here who lives in their car. And I'm gonna tell you like this is why I feel comfortable talking about this, and I'm not a mom. It's because every single mom that I know has told me, do not have children out of wedlock. And I watch even a few of my black friends now deliberately have children out of wedlock when they don't have that much money, and they're with men who probably like make less money than them. And I'm not trying to offend anybody that I know, but I have to talk about things that I know for it to be legitimate. I'm not gonna use other people's talking points. Even other people talk about the same. I'm not creating anything new, but I'm speaking on things that I know and understand and have experienced in real life. I've had to pay attention to red flags when dealing with men who would kind of hinted at maybe trying to get me pregnant so I would be stuck with their child. No, because I already told you I will get an abortion and won't think nothing of it. Like, I won't even tell you. You won't even know. So I'm not that woman. I'm not that girl. You know, do what you have to do. For me, when I was in a relationship and we got to a place where I felt like he might try to get me pregnant, honey, 2 weeks out of the month, I was mad. I was fake mad. 2 weeks out of the month, I was, you know, I don't feel like talking. I'm busy. I'm out of town. Whatever I had to do to keep that man away from me when I was ovulating, okay? I got ovulation strips so that I knew when I was in my fertile window to not get pregnant. I want children. I want babies, at least one. Kids are expensive, so I don't want too many. Just like one, maybe two. But I'm in a place where, listen, I would rather not have children at all than to have them in a less than ideal situation or a situation that's not up to my standards. My job is to give my child a better life than I had. That's what my parents did. That's what I would do. And if I subject my child to being raised in a household without their father, that is giving them a life less than what I had, period. So that is all that I have for this video. Hopefully it wasn't too long. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't. Hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified. You'll know as soon as I upload new videos. I hope you have a lovely day or night, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you in my next video.